Hi guys, and welcome back. Right, we are joined by Moon and Sam from Korea Board Games. They're going to give us actually a couple of kind of insights into two games they have. Now, I've seen the video that you have just watched, and I'm thinking, wow, this looks really interesting. Hey Moon, hey Sam, welcome to Virtually Expo. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you for inviting us. Thanks.
So we have a top-down camera where we can see. And do you know what? I'm just going to hand over to Moon.
Do you want a quick reminder of something from your childhood?
Yes.
Zap. The magic hands.
Oh, yes. Moon, I'm just going to hand straight over to you, man, to take us through this this first game.
Okay, so this game is called Four Gardens. It's for ages 10 and up. It's for 2 to 4 players. Personally, I found it most fun when around 3 players play, but 2 players is still fun. 4 players is still fun. On average, it's around 45 minutes. Obviously, if it's 2 players, it's going to be a bit shorter. 4 players could be a little over, but average around 45 minutes. So this is a Euro game, and the most prominent part of this game, as you can see, is the tower, the pagoda.
Yeah.
And you could spin it on 4 levels. If you spin it on the top level, then only the top level will turn. If you spin it on the bottom level, all 4 levels will turn. So you have to collect resources and complete cards. And this unique mechanism of how the pagoda turns incorporates a lot of strategy into the game. And basically, beside the pagoda, there's a card, and then there's a scoreboard. And on this scoreboard, it's a bit zoomed out. Originally, we had another camera, but we had technical difficulties, so
we feel your pain.
But yeah, the scoreboard, there's going to be a yellow track, a red track, a purple, and a blue. And you can't see the numbers right now, but then it has numbers 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10.
Yeah,
we can see those.
Your player markers advance through these scores, and once you reach 10, the interesting thing about this scoring system is you can push them back. You can push the other player markers back. So you can play this game very passively, or you can play very aggressively. So how about I show you how the cards work?
Yeah, we'd love that.
Go for it.
Okay, so in front of Sam, there's 3 orange cards. How about Sam opens them? Yeah, as you can see with the cards beside, it's dual-sided. One side is the landscape card. The one he's showing right now is the groundwork side. So Sam has to finish this side of the card in order to complete his garden. And when he completes his garden, he can score points through combos. But then, Sam, how about you show one of the orange cards? I just want to show how sets work. So if you look at Sam's card right now, there's 3 dots on the top.
Yeah.
You can see it, and then the first dot is highlighted. It's supposed to go left to right. I think it's inverted on your screen. But I believe on your screen, the rightmost side has a boldened circle. So this means this is the first card in a 3-card set.
Okay.
If the middle circle was boldened, it means it's the second card. If the third circle is boldened, it means it's the 3rd card in the set. And when you complete sets, there's 5 different, 5 of the same cards in the same position of the same set. And so you can't complete cards from the same set and in the same order. You have to complete them one by one. And the interesting thing about sets is that the scoring is retroactive. So on the top, you'll also see a purple circle. That means I score on the purple score marker. So if I score on the purple, I would move my score marker by 1. Let's say I finish another card. So let's say Sam finished the purple card first. So Sam, could you turn over the purple card? Yeah. So Sam, could you use one of the, originally we have a different score marker, but then right now it's unavailable. Could you put one of the score markers on the, one of the waters on the score marker? Yeah, one of each color. So if Sam finishes the purple card, he will advance well, in this case, the blue water marker on the purple once. By the way, they're separate score markers, but then at the moment it's unavailable, so that's why we're using the water.
Yep.
So let's say in the same set, Sam finishes the red card. If he finishes the red card, he would move the score marker by 1 on the red track. But the thing about, since it's in the same set, he gets to move purple again.
Ah.
So now if Sam finishes the blue card, he would move blue, red, and purple. So scores stack. So the sets are, there's 2-card sets, 3-card sets, 4 and 5-card sets. So obviously the bigger sets will have better score stacking. So you can play like that, but then that means that smaller sets are a bit of a disadvantage. So to balance this out, we have these bonus tiles where if you complete a certain set, you can take one of these bonus tiles. The one Sam's holding right now is the extra storage slot, the raw points, and then we call it take a wild. We inject resources straight into the card. So basically, I just wanted to give you an overview of how the cards work.
Yep.
I'll show you how. Let's say, how about we go through a few turns, and I'll show you how the game works.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So Sam, can you put those cards, the 6 cards, into the pile and shuffle the cards? So it's a quick shuffle. Every player starts with 5 cards. So Sam would draw 5 cards. And originally, each person doesn't show their hand, their groundwork side, but we'll just show you so it's easier to explain the game. Okay, so Sam has, I believe, is that the first position for both those 2-card sets? Is it? Last position. Okay, it's inverted. So anyway, how about this time we'll go for the 2-card sets. So Sam, each turn you get to have 3 actions, and each action takes a card. Oh, and Sam, by the way, could you open 3 cards from the blind deck? And once you take 3 actions, you have to fill in your cards until you have 5 cards again. And so one of the actions you can take is lay your groundwork down in front of you. So you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to finish this card. Another action you can take. Sam, why don't you use the orange card? Yeah, how about zoom in on the orange card? On the top, you'll see a pagoda and you'll see a card. Basically, almost all cards have a card action, and almost all cards have a pagoda action. I'll show you the pagoda first. There's 4 levels in the pagoda, and then on the card, you'll see the 3rd level is highlighted. This means you turn the 3rd level 90 degrees left or right, it doesn't matter, and you'll see an arrow beside it. So the arrow goes bottom up. So basically you turn the 3rd level 90 degrees left or right, and then you collect resources. You can't skip resources. So Sam, why don't you discard that card? You discard that card with an action, and you turn the pagoda to collect resources. And when you collect resources, you can't skip. How about Sam, why don't you take a storage tile? Each player has a storage tile, and there's only 4 slots. So you have to manage your resources carefully. I can't see what Sam is looking at. So originally, each player, there's 4 sides to the pagoda. So each player will have a different side of the pagoda. So Sam, I can't see what's on your side. Could you show us on the pagoda? Yeah, so bottom up. So he would be getting 3 waters and 1 rock because he can't collect anymore. So right now he used 2 actions out of 3. Sam, can you discard any of the cards so we can distribute resources? How about show us the card? If you look at his card, there's another pagoda, but we're not gonna collect resources again. We're gonna use the cart action beside the pagoda. Basically, you discard this card for this action. So this card, and then you distribute resources from your storage to your card or between cards. You can have up to 3 open cards at one time. And there's 3 water droplets left. And usually it's a bad idea to keep resources in your storage. So in that same action, you can discard the 3 water droplets. And eventually you'll finish the card. So Sam, let's say you you put another rock and a stone into that card, and you finished it. Turn it over, and then you would score red. Yeah, basically it's very simple. That's the game. There's another card. How about, Sam, can you find the take a wild action from the blind? Is there a take a wild? Oh yeah, and yeah. When your turn ends, by the way, you have to fill your cards until you have 5 cards. Your hand until you have 5 cards. Right now you have 3, so Sam will need to take 2 more cards. And he can't open the open cards until he picks out 3. So right now he picked out 5, so he gets to fill in 1 card in the open slot. And you see Sam, one of the cards that Sam got, it has a special icon. It's called Take a Wild.
Can see that.
Yeah, what this card does, it's a bit different from the pagoda. It's a little bit inefficient, but it's for emergency situations. So you can get a resource and place it directly onto one of your groundwork cards. So yeah, that's basically how the turns work. You place cards down in front of you, maximum 3. Use the pagoda or take a wild in order to collect resources, and you use card actions in order to distribute resources.
And when you complete the resource on a card, then you get to score with that card.
Correct. And if you finish sets, you get to get bonus tiles. And you can't get the same bonus tile. So let's say Sam got a storage tile as a bonus tile for completing the 2 set. Let's say right now he didn't complete the set, but let's say he had 2 red sets, two red card sets. Let's say he finished 2 of those. He would be able to take a storage tile. But let's say he finished another set. Let's say he finished a 3-card set. He wouldn't be able to take another storage tile as a bonus tile. He'd have to pick another one.
Yeah.
And is there a maximum of 3 to the bonus tiles, or once you have 3 of them, can you then select from all of them again?
You can't. Once you have 3 bonus tiles, that's it. But usually before then or by then, the game ends.
I see.
The end condition of this game, it depends on the number of players. So if it's two players, doesn't matter if it's all sets or not. They have to finish. One player has to finish 10 cards, and then you finish the round and the game ends. If it's 3 players, it's 9 cards. If it's 4 players, then it's 8 complete cards. So
interesting.
Basically,
and then
that's
the scoring
4 gardens.
And then how does final scoring work?
You count the scores on the scoreboard. So let's say the game ended right now. It would be 3 on blue, 3 on purple, 4 on red, and 3 on yellow. So that's 9 plus 4, 13. And since Sam doesn't have any bonus tiles, it would just end at 13. But usually the average game score from my games is around 20 to 30.
Yeah.
And right now we don't have another player to show you, but then usually when you have 3 to 4 players, the game starts getting very aggressive because everyone wants to get the same colors. And once they reach 10, they push each other back. Instead of going forward, once you reach 10, instead of moving 1 slot forward, you move everyone on that color 1 slot back. And once you go past 2, then they get knocked out of that color track. And once they get knocked out, they can't enter that color again. So you have to be careful to stay alive, but also be very aggressive.
Yeah.
There's an interesting depth of strategy to this, depending on what you're picking from the open, taking risks from the blind, and then deciding what you're going to work on. Also trying to guess out where is your opponent going to turn the pagoda to give them more resource and maybe deny you resource. Yeah. I like it.
It strikes me that you can be strategic even in how you turn the pagoda.
Yeah.
Because
as you're turning, that's you generating your resources that you're then going to build in.
But you could also deny your potential opponent resources.
Because there are some blank sides on the different resources I can see from here.
Yeah, the sides are 0, 1, 2, and 3 for each resource.
Yeah.
So basically, you can kind of peek over and see what the resources are on the sides. So you have to kind of see what resources you need and kind of also see what the other players need. Each player plays a bit different. I personally don't look at the pagoda so much. For me, I try to make my hand so that I have a lot of options. So I always try to have one card that that I can put down. And for my other cards, I usually try to get different directions on the pagoda, like turn the first level, turn the fourth level, collect top, bottom up. But yeah, everyone's different.
Now, here's a question. In your resource piles, if a resource pile runs out, now I'm sure it's probably engineered in the game that it doesn't really happen, can you draw more, or is it just a limited resource within those piles?
It's a limited resources. The resources are limited in that pile, but then we've never had a game where it actually runs out.
Yeah, I was just thinking that with the returning resources after you're done, you're not really going to have someone hoarding a ton of resources.
Yeah, once you finish the card, you return the resources into the pile, so you'll have to return it. So there's no way that it'll run out.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating system. I've got to say, it's very innovative. It looks like it looks like one of those games that really, the more you play it, the more you get into it. It really is quite zen in that respect.
It looks like you can have a real depth of strategy, like I said earlier. I mean, like for me, the way I normally play games, I would probably look at the pagoda a lot more, because if I see someone that's maybe in that 10 slot, I'm going to want to start denying them resources. So I'm assuming the person sighting at the table versus their sighting on the pagoda determines what they're receiving in a turn.
Yeah, the side that you're facing on the pagoda, that's the resources that you collect.
Yeah, so there's where that depth of strategy comes in there. If I start turning all the zeros to maybe, say, your side, Warren, if I notice you're in a strong position and you're about to start knocking me back, maybe out of a track, if I can deny you the resources I see on your open cards, then I can stop you knocking me out. Very interesting and deep.
Yeah. Well, so that's 4 gardens. Is there anything more to show us on that, Moon, or do you want to move on to your next game?
I think we can move on to fruit picking. It's a pretty simple game. I mean, it's not that hard to learn. But then 4 gardens, the nice thing about it is that there's different strategies to it. You can go with a 4 or 5 card set, or the small set, like 2 or 3 card sets. So every time you play, you can have a different strategy. So
well, look,
basically that's
we'll
it.
take a very quick break just to let you guys get set up, and then we'll come straight back to you, okay? Hi, guys, and welcome back. Right, before we move on to fruit picking, we do see some of you asking, does the pagoda pack down?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we show you the box?
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, sure.
So if you guys have the box of 4 gardens there, why don't we show them what's in it?
So this is the box of 4 gardens, and once you open it, you can easily pack in the pagoda back again. For the pagoda, everything's flat. It's paperboard, but then once you assemble it, you can just slot it in, and we'll just show you right now. So there's 4 levels to each pagoda. You can disassemble it and put each level of the pagoda into those 4 slots on the left and right.
Nice.
This is nice because you don't actually have to break the pagoda down after you build it for the first time. You just take the levels apart by the look of that. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah, that's correct. So there's a lot of inserts, but then, I mean, it's very, very easy to carry around. And you can just, once you assemble it, it's easy. You can take it out, put it back in, and yeah, that's how you can replay.
I love that. That's a beautiful piece of design right there. Right, okay. So, yes, guys, is the answer to that. The pagoda does break down, but it doesn't have to break completely down fat. They've already thought of that in the box design.
And that cuts down your setup time.
It does. Right, next up we have fruit picking. So, Moon, what can you tell us about fruit picking?
So this is a lot simpler. It's still strategy, but it's a Mancala type game. And basically you're all farmers and you're trying to grow fruit and sell fruit into the market island. So let's say player 1 is orange, player 2 is purple. What player 1 would do is they would get these farm cards. They're more like tiles, but we call them farm cards. And it's for each fruit. And the first player would distribute these cards into the personal board. The center board is the market, and the boards on the left and right are for the players. So orange player would be on the board with the orange seeds. The purple player would be on the board with the purple seeds.
And
so
how many players max?
4 players max. There's even a single player option, but we'll get into the multiplayer rules for this one.
Yeah.
So Sam, can you distribute on the orange for the orange player? And when the game starts, before the game starts, on the first 3 tiles from the top, after the top, you have to distribute 2 seeds. So just to give you an overview of the orange player's board, on 12 o'clock, it's the harvest house. It's basically your bank. You need to put seeds into that slot on the top in order to buy fruits on the market island, which is the center board. And after that, it's plum, raindrops, strawberry, pineapple, banana, and pear. So yeah, right now the screen's inverted, but it should be clockwise. It's 2 in the pear, 2 in banana, and 2 seeds in the pineapple. And each player will emulate this order. How about you do that for the purple player? There's variant rules where players can distribute these round farm cards differently, but the standard rules are everyone follows the first player.
So whatever way the first player lays out his farm, the other players then follow that.
Correct. This is the standard rules. You can play variant rules where everyone's random.
Yeah.
And then 2 seed cubes on everything, yes?
Yes. And just for the people who might not know how Mancala works, I'll just give an example. Let's say I'll pretend that I'm playing already. I'll take 2 seeds from the pair, and I'll distribute them clockwise. The screen's inverted, so it would go banana and pineapple.
I believe our screen is not inverted. So what folks are seeing
maybe it's just for us then.
Possibly.
Okay, then it's clockwise. Just in case there's any confusion.
Yeah.
So the last seed landed on the pineapple. This is your active farm. And this is how you grow seeds. If you look at the fruits, certain fruits have 1 fruit and certain fruits have 2. The strawberry has 3 strawberries. So the number of fruits that are drawn, that's how many seeds you can grow if the last seed lands there. So last seed landed on pineapple. So you would add 1 seed from your storage, which is the middle of the board, and put it into pineapple. So this is how you grow seeds. Let's say I take the pineapple, then it would be the next player's turn. But just to explain it further, I'll keep playing as the orange player. Let's say you take the pineapple and then distribute the seeds 1 by 1. You always have to go in order and you can't skip. The last seed landed in your bank. Now you have 1 seed to buy the fruits. But there's one special rule about having your last seed land in the harvest house. If it lands there, then you can go again. Your turn repeats. So I can pick a group of seeds and distribute again. So let's say I choose the banana. And I distribute them 1, 2, 3. And then, because there's 2 raindrops, I would add 2 seeds. I would add 2 seeds into that farm card. And you keep growing resources like this and adding seeds to your harvest house. And now I'll tell you how you win the game. In the center board, the market island board, maybe you could zoom in on it. The end conditions are written on the top corners. On the top left, you'll see a full house. Is it? I'm not sure. It's not inverted, right?
No, it's not for us. No.
Okay. So the top left, you'll see a full house. On the top right, you'll see 3 pairs. On the bottom, you'll see 1 of each card. And then on the other, you'll see a flush. So it's different types of sets you can collect. Whoever collects this first is declared the winner. So it's a race to get these fruits. So example, one player could get, let's say, 3 plums and let's say 2 pineapples. That would be a full house because that's 3 of one fruit and 2 of another. Then the end condition would be triggered and that person would be the winner. So how do you buy cards? Well, okay, let's go back to the orange player. Let's say I add 1 seed on the plum into the harvest house and I get to go again. And then now I get the raindrops, the seeds in the raindrops, there's 4, and I move it to the banana. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, by the way, when you buy cards, the last card that you land on, you know how I mentioned that's how you grow seeds?
Yes.
It's your active farm. There's one other function of the active farm. You have to land, you can only buy fruits on your active farm. So originally, in a normal turn, I would have added 2 seeds into the banana because that's the last card that I landed on. But in this case, if I want to buy, I don't add seeds. Instead, I would take 2 seeds from the harvest house and put it back in my storage. I would discard all my seeds in my active farm, which is the banana. And then I would take the banana on the Market Island board. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought it was inverted. Anyway, Sam, could you just switch the banana with the pear? I thought it was screen's a bit small on my end, so I thought it was inverted. But anyway, so let's say the board was like this, then I would be able to buy the banana. And the price of each fruit is the number of fruits drawn. There's 2 bananas, so the price is 2 seeds. For the plum, there's 2 plums, so the price is 2 seeds. For strawberry, it's 3 strawberries, so 3. For pear, it's 1. Sam, could you show the Market Island board one more time so I could show the taxes? If you look at the bottom of the board, there's going to be a question mark. And if the card's under this slot, then you just pay the number of fruits that are drawn, that are shown. But beside that, you'll see a slot where it says a question mark card plus a seed.
Yes.
That's a tax. It's a premium. And basically that means you need to pay 1 more seed. The one beside that means 2 more seeds. The one on the corner means that you need to add 3 more seeds as a tax. Right. So example, if the banana was on the 3 plus question mark card, you would have to pay 5 seeds instead.
And those come from your house?
Sorry?
The extra seeds you're paying, those come from your house or your farm?
From your harvest house in your personal farm, in your personal board.
Got it.
Player board. Yeah. Okay, Sam. Thank you. So basically, why this is significant, when you buy a card, you draw a new card into that slot. But when before you draw, you have to always shift the cards into the cheapest slot. So let's say, why would you buy the expensive ones? As I mentioned earlier, you have to complete sets to win the game. Let's say I have enough seeds to buy, let's say, the pear this time. Let's say I buy the pear.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would move it to the orange player board, and then I would move the cards and then shift it. It's very inefficient, but you would do this because you want to deny other people from buying cards, or you really want to finish your set.
Yeah.
And with 2 players, you won't notice it as much, but with 4 players, you have basically 3 players playing against you, and vice versa for everyone's situation.
And how many cards are in a set? When you talk about a set, are you talking about like all the banana cards, or a set of banana cards, or a set of pear cards, or what represents a set?
Okay, Sam, could you show the Market Island board again? On the corners of this board, the end conditions are drawn. So if you look on the top, there's going to be 2 green cards and 3 yellow cards. That's one set. It doesn't have to be banana. It can be 3 strawberries and 2 pineapple if you want.
Yeah.
It just means 3 plus 2. That's a set. The one beside that is 3 pears. The one beside that is 4 of one card, 4 of one type of fruit. And the last one is 1 of each type of fruit. So 5 different fruits. If you collect that, then you win.
Yeah. So on the card then is a color, yes?
No. So it doesn't matter which of the fruit cards it is. It's just, so for say this one in the bottom left, that's 1 of each type of fruit On the next one in the bottom right, that's 4 types of one fruit. In the top right, that's 2 of one fruit, 3 of another. And then in the top left, that's 3 of 2 individual types of fruit.
Right.
So it doesn't seem to matter which type of fruit or which color the fruit is. It's just making those consistent sets of types.
Those combinations. Yeah.
Yes, of the types. Have I got that right, guys?
You have, perfect.
Wow.
So yeah, the game's pretty simple. You just pick up seeds, distribute, and then grow your seeds, and then make sure they go into your harvest house, and buy fruits from the market island board, which is the center board, and make sure you get sets before the other players.
I love this game.
It's really interesting.
It's beautifully elegant.
Yeah, the resource generation aspect of this is very, very cool.
Yeah.
And if you're playing a variant where you're actually changing up the fruit locations within the farm, it really changes the starting strategy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautifully elegant
strawberry
game.
is the most efficient one, right? Because it's 3 seeds. So most people try to go for strawberries first. Not buying strawberries, but grow their resources on the strawberry.
Yeah, so you generate your resources from strawberries and then spread out from there to buy your next resources. I like it.
So let me just to clarify. So there's a solo version of this game, and then it's a 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, yeah?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 players the same rules, and then single player has its own set of rules. It's more of a solitaire version, but then we'll have to kind of get into it. So the solo rules are actually on our website, on our video. So the tutorial's there if you're interested. But today it's a bit too much, so we'll go with 2 to 4 player rules.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem, man. That is it's just so beautifully elegant. It's like the game is like a ASMR. I'm just feeling so chilled just watching it. It's beautiful.
Again, it's another very zen game because there's no trash talk, there's nothing like that. It's just you're looking at your resources. What can I generate? Trying to look at what your opponent has. What's the possibility of their generation in the next turn?
Yeah.
And do I want to strike out against them and deny them a resource, hoping that it won't come back out again? But if it does, it's going to be super expensive for them. So I can buy myself time to actually build my sets. Really nicely done.
Yeah. Guys, Moon, thank you. Sam, thank you so much. Now, there's some winter releases coming that you can tell us about, yeah?
Yeah. We actually have a lot of releases that are coming out. We have around, depends on our schedule, but at least for fall, we're going to have 5 games coming out. Sam's going to show the boxes. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. 2 of the boxes, probably it's better to wait and then show. So we'll show you about 3 games then.
Okay.
And just explain it briefly. Let's help Sam get set up. And one of them is a memory game, one of them is a dueling game, and one of them is a pattern matching game. The first one we're going to show is called Firefly Dance. So basically, for this game, it's a memory game where it's kind of hard to do it without showing like the components, but the battery's not included, but you need to insert batteries into a magic wand. And once you do that, you touch it on the back of the Firefly.
Oh.
And once you do that, it'll light up. Like so. And there's different Firefly colors. So there's yellow, blue, green, and red. So you have to roll the dice and then move around the board and see which color you have to guess. And then once you guess it correctly, you get gems, and whoever has the most gems wins. And to make the game more diverse, basically, you would switch the order of the Fireflies. And there's also, when you roll the dice, there's also a phase where you have to draw a card. And on the card, you have to get a certain order of Fireflies. So let's say one of the cards, this one has 3 Fireflies. You'd have to get yellow, green, and blue. And once you get that correctly, then you would get 3 gems instead of 1. So it's a simple memory game, but once you're talking with your friends and then you try to remember what colors these are, you'll forget. Yeah. But yeah, it's a cute little game called Firefly Dance.
Okay, so that's game number 1.
Quite a cool concept.
The next game I want to show is Mine Deeper. It'll take some time to set up, so I'll just show you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can show the back side of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so the objective of this game is basically Battleship plus Minesweeper.
Oh, interesting
It's
combo.
dual-sided, so it's a two-player game.
Uh-huh.
You have to get 5 red gems from the opponent. So how it's set up on the opponent's side of the wall is different from your side.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see at the bottom of the box, you'll see a card, and you basically set up your board as is shown on your card, and then you have to get as many red gems from the opponent as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And at first it's guessing, but there's a bit of intuition, because you'll see there's yellow and purple gems. Yellow means north, south, east, west. There's 1 red gem. Purple gem means there's 2 red gems, north, south, east, or west. And then you first guess, and then after that you deduce where the red gems are.
Gotcha.
And then
This is where
try
the
to get it
Minesweeper
before
element
your
comes in,
opponent.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a simple game, but it's very addictive, because then it's Battleship. Who doesn't like Battleship?
Yeah.
It's got kind of a
Okay,
mild
and the last-
gotcha feeling to it.
Uh-huh.
The last game I want to show you is called Monster Dentist. Yeah, and then we'll show the back of the box. Yeah. This is right now. This is a prototype, so the box is
Mm-hmm.
not finished yet. But basically, we have dentist mirrors on this. Maybe we can't set up the whole thing, but
Yeah.
we'll just show you the dentist mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically players would put the dentist mirror in the monster's mouth. And then under the mouth, there's a place where you stack cards. And then you can see the bottom of the card. And then you'll have to match patterns.
Ah.
Basically, it's that kind of game. It's a pattern matching game. It's a prototype, but
These are
it seems
so
like-
innovative, man.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely loving this.
mhm. Yeah, we have a couple of other games, but then at the moment they're like Monster Dentist. They're at the prototype stage. So if you check out our YouTube channel, videos will keep going up. So yeah,
There we go.
stay
Coolly,
tuned.
coolly.
Moon, Sam, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
That was absolutely wonderful. Right, guys, if you want to find out a little bit more, you can go to koreaboardgames.com
/_ENG.
and all of the information is there. Right.
Or you can check out our YouTube channel, KBG Publishing. So that's where the tutorials are.
Okay, KBG Publishing on YouTube.